think the camera's crooked. Looks awful crooked to me. Here, I'll turn the monitor so you can see. But you, oh my God, I'm getting old.
I am too. Is that any better?
Yeah, it's a little straighter. Take it that way. I think. Yeah, I think that way. The other way. Yeah, go that way. A little more. A little more. That's better. At least the steel looks straight.
Watch the steel go crooked.
Not that anybody's ever going to see this anyway.
Wait a minute. That's my line.
I wonder how the audio is on this thing.
We'll find out in 2 seconds.
Not seeing a lot of bouncing around. Huh, that's weird.
1 sec, let me enter. 1 sec, let me enter.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Not bad.
Oh my God.
Oh, TK's already in the chat. Holy crap, dude.
TK's up in his little. How you doing, my brother?
I'm going to do my social media yeeting like
Oh, here we go. He's going to yeet.
I already yeeted it to Twitter.
Yeet! Oh.
Post and yeet. It's up on Twitter as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
How they ever watches it.
Oh, a certain somebody wants, the girlfriend wants to tune in, so I'm going to notify her as well.
We got to get some better chairs.
Please donate to the stream so we can buy ourselves some better chairs.
So I'm in a regular desk chair. You're on the stool. So you're a good like foot and a half taller than I am right off the bat.
Jimmy looks like my little friend down here.
I would say you could be sitting on my lap right now, but you'd still be above me right there.
Yeah, it would be a no contact lap sitting.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Did I just hear Kevin say a magic word? What was the magic word?
Yeet money at us?
I think he meant girlfriend.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. My heart's broken. You know, I thought we had something going on, and now another woman has stepped between us. And
sorry, dude. Sorry about that.
Now he's a man, he's a mighty, mighty man. Is
Yeah,
that what it is? Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Tonight we decided we'd do a quick little stream. We haven't actually sat in the same room together in like forever.
Well, I mean, we sat in the same room over at Denny's a couple of times, but that's another story. And in the same car.
You mean in the same tent?
Wake me up when this nightmare is over.
Oh, God. Here we go. He's already tired of streaming. I guess we'll say goodnight and just call it.
I didn't mean the stream.
Then I got glasses yesterday. Getting to the point where I can't read worth anything. And then I was driving down the freeway. I'm like, those signs aren't looking so bright and easy to see anymore. I guess I better do something. So got progressives. So now it's just a matter of learning how to look through them. I'm getting old.
Crump.
Yeah, getting old.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. Hey, okay.
You're getting old too, man. Look at you.
I need a haircut at some point.
Yeah, you do. Your girlfriend hasn't got on to you about that yet?
Not yet.
Oh, my God.
I will go eventually.
She's going to get on you eventually.
I know.
She's going to get a haircut, you hippie.
Okay, when I knew I needed a haircut was when we were all out at Red Rocks a long time ago, and I was watching the footage. And there's this hilarious scene where I'm literally going to walk behind a rock. I made way too many jokes about going behind a rock to smoke crack, and then I was like, I need a haircut.
I figured it was whenever the person came up to you and handed you $1 and
No, that's when I know I need to get my hair long so I can make free money.
when they offered you a McDouble and $1.
Oh, I would have totally taken him up on that. No, jokes aside, I do not like getting haircuts, so it's kind of like I try and stretch that, and they're not cheap, so I try and stretch them out as far as I can.
TK said he used to have eyes like an eagle. Now he has to wear 2 pairs of glasses to paint. Oh, man.
Then again, TK's doing walls that are like this tiny to be fair.
Oh yeah,
so
he does.
that even from you as decent eyesight, I'd need some kind of magnification for that. So you
Any
get a
thoughts on
pass.
making a Harry Calvin model that we can 3D print?
How long have we been talking about this, but it's never happened? Wait, then we need to model it so we can put a drink inside of it so we can drink out of the head of Calvin.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Kind of like what we did with, Daniel Narey, the god of 3D printing.
I miss Daniel. We need to get him on here.
We need him on here. I don't care if we're talking about snow, anything non-3D printing related. I don't care. We just need that dude in here.
Yeah, he's good people.
We need his awesome Swedishness in here.
Better silence my phone.
Where AA Run starts calling you to bombard the
I
chat.
don't know what all this is.
That was probably TikTok or something like that.
Oh, Verizon saying I've got up rewards.
Or whatever.
Yeah,
that
until
is.
you go on there and then it says you have no rewards. It's like, okay, that's what
Bait
$300 a
switch.
month gets you, huh? No rewards. But you've got a reward. Oh, but you only expired. You waited 30 seconds before you clicked on the email.
It's like Wish. When you go on there, they got, never mind.
Dildos? That's honestly what that website's become anymore. It's sad.
I've gone on there and gotten a couple of good things, but yeah, the problem is something like Wish. It's like it's only going to work good for so long.
Well, there for a while they had all these little digital cameras you can get, and they were like 4K, and they were this and that. Now you go on there, there's nothing 4K. Everything's 1080. And it's like, okay, so either they are being truthful,
4K.
either they're being truthful about everything now, or they really went downhill. I don't know which.
I never trusted the ratings on that. Most of the time, those cameras shot that worse than a potato.
Yeah.
So the reality is, it's like I would get those kinds of action cameras from sellers that I could return them, and 95% of them would get returned. But there was that exception to that rule, which was that action camera that I still use to this day for sticking on the hood of my car and stuff. But that's another story. I can't find it anywhere, which really sucks because all the crappy ones still are around for some reason. But whatever.
Medic Vince?
Yeah.
Vince? Oh. He says hello. Hello. How are
Hello.
you?
Long time no see.
Brian's up in the house. How you doing, Brian? He says he hasn't heard any Biden jokes so far. Oh, they're coming. They're coming. Just give it a.
I'm not.
Now,
even
if you go on
going there.
TikTok, there's all kinds of Biden jokes.
Oh, that. But but then again, I don't go on TikTok. So
Here's the amazing thing about TikTok.
what's that?
For a platform that Trump hated so badly and wanted to delete so badly, they promoted him more than any other platform promoted him. And even till now, that platform promotes him way more than any other platform has ever promoted him. And yet he wanted to delete it.
Well, the thing is with TikTok, there's things that I'm genuinely concerned about with it. The fact that it is owned technically by a Chinese company, and I guess they just data mine the living crap out of whoever's using it. That's the part of it that concerns me the most.
Yeah, while you're watching it on your Android phone or from your Apple phone,
Still,
which is just doing the same thing, except they don't make it public that they do it.
yeah. Well,
I mean, you can be in a car talking about something, just talk about anything. Oh, I'm thinking about getting me some dentures. Next thing you know, you're bombarded by ads on Chrome about dental stuff.
yeah.
Or you go in there and say, hey, you know what? I've been thinking about starting to drink or this, that. All of a sudden, here comes those ads. It's like, okay, so where are these coming from? I didn't search for it.
Yeah.
It's all data mining. It all is data mining.
Oh, yeah.
You take a cell phone, not add any apps at all to it, turn the thing on, and there's going to be data traffic going back and forth all the time because it's constantly searching out whatever.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Alexa. Alexa will take and just turn on automatically for no reason at all.
I refuse to use either an Alexa or Google Home.
Really?
I do not.
I don't say anything that important.
Yeah, it's still, I know my phone will do things, but a lot of the time I just keep my phone in the other room.
I mean, if they want to listen to me talk nasty to my wife, so be it.
I hear enough of that anyway, so
Hey,
it's all
baby.
good.
How are you doing tonight? I mean,
The walls are.
how much does Alexa really want to hear?
Let's just say our walls are both thin enough that I might hear some fun stuff in there. Yeah. We're close enough neighbors that I hear some things I just do not talk about. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, you dirty dog.
so dirty. So dirty.
Oh, brother.
Brent says, or Fox News. There you go.
Oh my gosh, we got BB3D up in here.
What? He probably thought we fell off the end of the earth.
Well, he knows I'm still around, but he probably thinks everybody else is like.
I won't lie. I work a lot of hours. Not as much here lately as I have been, but that's getting ready to change along about next week for sure. It's getting ready to be some really long hours coming.
Yeah.
But the job change has definitely been worth it. It's just that it takes a toll on you mentally. But that said, got to also look at the time of life that we're in right now. What has happened over the past year?
You're lucky to have anything.
Well, it's not only that, but I mean, you think, oh, it's taking a toll on me mentally, but has it really taken that big of a toll, or has it been everything else coupled with that? Because it all happened at the same time. It's like, my God, of all the times to change a career, that what a time, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like anymore, people will pretty much take any job if they can, because at this point, a job's a job.
Oh man, all right now they're paying good at night.
I won't bet.
1950 an hour starting out.
I mean, I make a little more than that.
1950 an hour starting out. But there's also expectations too. You gotta work for that.
You gotta hustle.
You gotta hustle.
But for somebody who wants to make some quick money, that's not a bad idea.
Well, the thing is, if you don't mind doing the work, that's, like I said, that's starting. That means there's room for advancement. That's a good starting point.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's can shop at the outlet mall too. Yeah, everything's starting to open back up now. Everything is. I think up in Santa Clara County, they went to the red tier today, which means probably in a few days we should be able to go up there to a restaurant and eat inside. I imagine it'll probably be about 25% capacity.
Yeah.
Everybody on here right now from other states is saying, what? Yeah, California is still shut down. Everybody else in the other 49 states, including stinking New York, have been able to go and eat inside, but not here in California. Even here in Monterey County, we're still shut down. We're still in purple tier, which means it's outside dining only. And hopefully next week will be the change for us, because the numbers are starting to drop pretty good.
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
Of course, then again, now we've got the little jump from Valentine's Day. Well, let's face it, it's not going to be near as big a jump as it was Christmas and New Year's, because that was the days that everybody were, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, was all holidays where people gathered together. Now, Valentine's Day is going to be in couples, so 2 here, 2 there, that kind of stuff.
There we go. Seeing what it's like down where my family's at.
I think they're still in purple tier. I think. Who knows? So as it goes, purple is like lockdown, but you have outside dining. Red is inside dining, and I think movie theaters open. And churches have to open no matter what, because Gavin Newsom lost his thing with the federal government.
Which was glorious to see happen.
Yeah, that needed to get knocked down.
That was ridiculous.
Which technically, if churches could do it, good and well the bars could say, "Hey, what about us?"
It's once something like that happens, everything else, I mean, it's still it's hard.
Yeah, it's like a house of cards. It's going to come down if time went on.
If it's only can't see much on it. Whatever.
They should all still refuse service to customers wearing a nose pinch and a diction diaper.
Oh my god.
TK's still on full lockdown in Wales.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know what they're doing out there in the UK, dude.
Well, you got to realize too, it's different.
Yeah,
They're closer to the epicenter than we are.
yeah.
You know, so there's certain precautions got to be taken that way too.
Well, also,
But I do remember hearing something that sounded like they were talking about starting to come out of it as well,
yeah,
because they had a huge second surge,
yeah. Well,
huge back there.
the thing you got to remember is by vaccination or getting it or both, you're going to acquire a group of people who have immunity, and then over
Yeah.
time, between both of those, you will hit a point where it is going to, go downhill.
Well, now that people are starting to get vaccinated, that's going to start creating little holes in the virus's way of getting.
From A to B.
Yeah. And once you start making the holes big enough, then it starts falling into the gaps, and it'll I'd say by August, I think everybody's going to see a huge difference in stuff, and I think things will be pretty much back open by Christmas time.
I'm just really hoping that we can try and figure out something for in person with school, because I'm going to be honest, this whole online thing is just not working, period.
Well, their goal is to try to reopen grade school before the end of the year, which honestly at this point I don't see that happening.
No.
They just passed a huge budget with the state that's going to throw money at the schools saying, here, reopen. You know, the schools are going to go, thank you, maybe next year.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take them you're not going to take them by stinking Clorox wipes and hand sanitizer and N95 masks and all that between now and next week.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
There's not enough to go around, even if it wanted.
Did you hear about the N95 masks from 3M? That they've been busting these huge rings or making fakes?
It's been an issue with people knocking off 3M and other well-known brands before this, but yeah, it's just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
I mean, and I hate to say it, but it's like unless I'm buying it from somewhere that I trust, and even then, you don't know if it's you have a level of trust if you're going to a name brand store versus some guy in a van in a back alley. But even then, who's to say people aren't in the back room? But whatever.
TK said that he's lost 8 people last year during
Wow.
Christmas. Had 3 funerals in the New Year. Yeah, it's been bad.
But he said, thing is, not one of them died from COVID.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
It's still sad. I don't want to downplay it, but at least it's good it wasn't
No.
directly from that.
I've had people close by to me and everybody I know. I've had some quite a few people pass, and it's gotten way too close to home.
Yeah.
I've had family members come down with COVID that were in the hospital for well over a month.
That's scary.
And the bad thing about COVID is it will also cause blood clots. And that's the one thing that they don't say a whole lot about. Now, granted, the blood clots may be caused by a person laying around in bed waiting 14 days to get out.
Yeah.
But the other part is they do claim that it can cause many blood clots that, of course, increase the chance of getting a larger blood clot.
Right.
So, I mean, it's no laughing matter. It's no joke, no matter what some of these people are trying to make it out to be. I've seen too many people close to me get it, and them being wiped out for months at a time. You know somebody that's a hard worker, they're right there next to you working, and then they get it, and when they come back, they're out of breath by the time they walk across the store. You know there's something real about it.
Yeah.
That's not a normal flu.
And I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure I had it back before spring break at school, because I remember it took me about 3 months to get my strength back, and there's still days where I don't have all my strength.
Yeah. I still think, way down deep, I still think that last year, about this time when I was sick, I think I had it.
I'm pretty sure
Because
I had
I
it.
did lose my sense of taste and smell. When I brought that up to the doctor, oh no, it wasn't here then. And I'm looking, I'm like, are you an idiot?
I mean,
I didn't have taste and smell for about 3 or 4 weeks. Because I remember making the comment to Beth, I'd be all right if I could just taste food again. I remember making that comment to her, and even she remembers it. And I remember going into pneumonia within a day or two of getting sick compared to typically I'll get sick, I'll be outside working, doing the sandblasting and all that stuff out in the cold, and then slowly building into pneumonia.
Not
This
boom, it's
was
there.
like, boom, you've got pneumonia. And just too many things kind of pointed that direction.
I mean, the one thing that I will say that I remember is beginning of the semester, I was in a hybrid class, which really was just it met online. You could go to the in-person class if you wanted on Monday, and on Wednesday it was online. I just decided, you know what, if I'm going to get the same lecture online as I'm going to get in person. It was a really simple GE class, but I remember the instructor was coughing her head off the whole time. She goes, I've never felt like this. She pretty much ran in there, had to do the orientation, and ran out. And she got cleared by her doctor that it was bronchitis. She goes, this ain't freaking bronchitis. and it was at that point, in retrospect, I'm like, oh shoot. Thankfully, I didn't get it until about a month or two later. But I remember our lab tech, Vincent, was this retired. He had gotten out of the Marines a couple months, like about a year or two before, completed the program. Dude was in great shape, tons of energy. And I remember going in there on a Saturday because he was the Saturday lab tech. And he was in there and he was just exhausted. He was all doped up on Dayquil and NyQuil. And he's like, I'm feeling like crap. He goes, I don't know what I caught. But he goes, I've caught some nasty stuff overseas. He goes, I've never been this sick in my life. So just, if you need me, if you chop your hand off, just call 911. I'll write up the paperwork later. Don't do anything stupid. I'm just going to be in the other room. Just play it safe. And then, yeah, I'm pretty sure that I caught it because they've said they've discovered it in people in December of like the year before. In blood, people who had given blood, they could see the antibodies from it in there. And they're like, yeah, it's been here longer than we thought.
I see Aaron's up in here. How you doing, Aaron?
How we going?
Man, red light is up in here.
Man, I waiting for my dad to crash in here. That or he's still working on my sister and her boyfriend's new house.
Oh,
Yeah,
new house, huh?
they bought a place.
Nice.
I haven't seen it yet, but from what my dad
They
is,
didn't give you the address.
no, I know where it's at. I actually know where it's at. It's not too. I'm not going to give any specific details, but the funny thing is, it's actually closer to my parents' house than grandma's is.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I've driven. The funny thing is, if I took a side road to get over to the Joanne Fabrics and the ice cream store, I'd drive by what became their house. Like, I can't count how many times. But yeah, no.
So, is Calvin's other half watching? Say
Uh,
hello.
no, to the best of my knowledge, she is not watching right now. Because if she was, she'd be totally chilling us out in the chat.
She should be hitting you up on your text message.
Yeah, she hasn't. She's probably at work right now.
That's good.
Yeah,
Got you one that works. That's good.
push easy. Oh, shut up, Lightspeed. Oh, you are worse than
I'm
Jenny.
here. Hi, Calvin. Kisses.
Oh, oh gosh. Oh. You are worse than Jenny.
Yeah, nice scratch on the table. That's what happens when you got friends. They just have fun on your table.
Yeah, this poor table needs clean.
We need to sand it down and redo it. That's what we need to do, is sand it down, put another layer on it.
That'd be a fun that'd actually be a fun live stream.
You know what I wanted to do?
What?
I just didn't have the time or the means to do it at the time. What I wanted to do is have you ever seen that Lightningberg effect, or what do they call it? Where you take a transformer,
Oh yeah.
you spray the wood with like a salt water, or take baking soda and water
Mhm.
and put it on it, and then you take like a nail and you take another nail and you hook the clips to it, turn the transformer on, and it just
yeah.
it looks like lightning going across it, and then put the clear over it. That would have been sick, but I never didn't have the time or anything at that point to do it.
Well, you could always make another top and stick it on if you wanted.
Oh yeah, I could, because I didn't glue this one, did I? No, I didn't glue it. I think I just used remember I made those plastic clips?
Yeah. You made them on. I think it was probably that G-Tech or the
Don't-
A10.
Or did I? Maybe I did glue it. I don't remember.
No, we'll find out.
Yeah, it's been so long.
Yeah. We need to find some time to do some more projects.
Yeah, we
Well,
do.
I mean, you still have the prints that you need to redo for your relative, and then you've got the helmet that you need to work on.
Yeah, need to do the helmet for my friend. Get that done. He's getting upset with me because I didn't do it. I haven't exactly had the time and everything to do that big of a project.
Like I said, I'm more than happy to
But
slice
we
it
need
up
to
and
get
run it.
we need to get that skull set up for Cassie and send that out to her.
Yeah.
I think she got a 3D printer to do smaller stuff with. But I need to find out what all she actually needs for us to print, and we'll get that sent out to her because I don't know if they'll have Comic-Con back there this year or not. But it'd be nice for her to get everything so she can get finished up and
Yeah.
be set for when it does happen.
Because let's put it this way, finishing takes 10 times longer than you think it will.
Oh yeah.
Trust me on that one. I didn't get
So what happened to Sears? Do a quick search for Sears. Let's see how many locations are left open now.
1 sec.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh man, you're all fast on that thing, aren't you? Oh my god, how many icons do you have in your poor computer?
I have to see how my Dogecoin is doing, okay, sir?
You know what? Your Dogecoin is probably worth more than Sears at this point.
Probably. Oh, let's go to the Sears.
So I
official
left
side.
Sears in December of 2019. Went on to another big box retailer, which will remain nameless.
I'm not going to say.
All I can say is go blue.
Well, Sears was blue.
Oh yeah, they
Well,
were.
they were watermelon. All right, let's go to store locator.
Let's say I went from the one that said that they were the world's largest integrated retailer at one point back when they merged with Kmart to the one that actually is the world's largest integrated retailer now.
Okay, according to this, there's a Sears outlet in.
Okay, Sears Outlet does not belong to Sears. It's actually another company on Sears Outlet.
well, I know.
So,
Oh, wait. The one in Stockton looks like it's still open.
that's Yuba City.
Okay. Mm,
That should be Yuba City, isn't it?
No, that's Stockton.
Really? They have
Yeah.
one in Stockton?
That's what it's saying.
I don't know if they still have one in Stockton.
Oh, they got another center out there. I should go out there and get my limb. I'm just kidding.
There you go.
I'll go elsewhere. And
Anyway, so-
it says there's one in Concord.
really?
Says. I don't trust it entirely.
Yeah.
Next time I'm in that area, I'm going to have to see. just
Anyway,
bagels.
and I left Sears in 2019 December. Went to work for this other company, and it was in August or September when the Sears I worked for here in town
Mhm.
closed up. And I mean, it's even till now, it's sad to drive past there because I mean, the building's just completely empty now. There's nothing in there. In fact, I just drove past there. I think it was last night, just to see if there's anything happening. You know, if there's starting to work on the building or nothing. There's nothing. I mean, that thing is just
I mean,
vacant.
I'm surprised they didn't turn it into the ubiquitous Spirit Halloween.
Honestly, that would be a good place for it because they could call that a haunted house right there.
Oh, geez, they could have. I mean,
That place has stories behind it, man. There are stories behind that building.
I've heard some stories from Beth about it. I'm gonna leave it at that. And she's not one to get into all of that.
But
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
they didn't leave before my departure. They left. They closed up afterward.
But we all know Jimmy departing was the
Oh,
reason why.
No, that wasn't the reason why. The reason why is because the guy that owned the company, he had sold off all the properties. Well, let me go back in time.
Oh boy.
So they merged with Kmart and Sears, you know, made this huge company, and then instantly just started picking away at different parts of the company. And as the company went down, he took and he said, "Oh, you need more capital to run. I'll give you X millions of dollars to run, but you give me these 26 buildings that Sears has, give me those properties as collateral. And when you pay me back, you get the properties back. And secretly, that money just never got paid back. And so those stores would slowly but surely be liquidated. Oh, that one's not paying their rent. Because what he did is he took those properties and he took those properties and put them in another part of his hedge fund that was teamed up with a company that did shopping malls and created their own real estate company that took and rented the buildings back to the stores. And so on their P&Ls, they were paying rent for stores that they never had to pay rent on because they owned the property. So now all of a sudden you've got a business, you've got a store who was making this profit, paying property taxes, and paying their light bill and all that. Now suddenly they're strapped with a $90,000 a month lease. And it's like, what? And that's honestly what it was. The one that I worked at for was $90,000 a month that they paid for a lease.
That is just insanity.
So you're talking, sometimes 2 or 3 days worth of
Sales.
net sales. We're not talking sales that, oh yeah, that money pays for it. We're talking, this is the full amount of sales, not including the price of the product, not including anything, the wages or anything that way that had to go out and be paid. All that money went straight toward rent. And you don't think that, I remember one point I had this one store manager, I won't say his last name, but his name was Jim. Nobody liked the guy, but he was one of those guys who was very knowledgeable. If you just got to know the guy, he's a good guy, but nobody took the time to get to know him.
That sucks.
And I remember him telling me, for every dollar that they made, how was it? For every dollar, let's say you needed a mouse. And so you marked this mouse out. This mouse was a $10 mouse, which at that time they weren't. They were a lot more expensive than that.
Yeah.
Let's say it's a $10 mouse. That you had to sell, I think it was $1,000 worth of product in order to recoup the price that you just marked this out. Or you went and you bought it somewhere and then you got reimbursed for it. It took that much money to recoup in sales to make up for that. How true that was, I don't know, but it made you think about what you were marking out. So that's the reason why even till now, it's hard for me to just say, okay, yeah, we need this, we need that. I'm just going to order all this because I'm still thinking of, okay, so you go and you mark that out. Now all of a sudden you've got to sell enough to make up for that.
Yeah.
And the guy was pretty smart that way. But of course, the company slowly but surely gets rid of people like that.
The people who know their stuff.
Yeah. To people, it's like, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that. And it's like, okay, and how much money is that going to cost? And way down deep, you're thinking, that's a lot of money to be spending out.
Yeah. Are we ever going to recoup it?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be better to wax the floors or replace the lights or something like that. Than
hire an extra person that can clean up.
Or if you need to paint a wall, paint it yourself. Don't hire a contractor to come in and paint the wall. Something to kind of save some money. But anyway, this guy went, and that way he did is he would take and he would just give them money, take the collateral, and slowly just underhanded take the collateral, put those inside this other company, lease it back out to those particular stores. Next thing you know, that store's not profitable anymore. Go ahead and close it. We're going to liquidate it. And of course, since he owned that store, he also got the money from the liquidation. And he just picked the company apart. And his whole thing in life was he wanted to sell Craftsman. He wanted to sell Kenmore. He wanted to sell Die Hard. And I don't know what he's done with Kenmore, but he sold Craftsman and he sold Die Hard.
Because I'm sure as heck seen Craftsman over at Lowe's.
Yep.
Just down
you
the
can
road.
buy it. Craftsman is now a national brand. It's actually made by Stanley Black & Decker.
Really?
Yeah. Where before I believe it was Apex Tools that made the majority of the products for Craftsman. And then I can say it now because they're not part of it. But it was whenever they made the deal, I forget if it was 800 million or whatever they sold that name to Stanley Black & Decker. So now it's part of that. So anywhere you see Stanley and Black & Decker tools, you'll see Craftsman tools.
And your chair's trying to kill me.
Oh, what'd you do in my chair?
Your chair did not like the fact that we were talking bad about Craftsman.
I know, right? You know, it is a Craftsman chair.
And it's trying to kill me. This is why everybody loves watching the show, to see the chair trying to kill me.
What did you do?
I don't know.
What did you do?
Okay, now it seems better.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Oh boy.
But you know, you slowly pick something apart, and eventually, you know, you can't keep going. That's what happened to that company. It just got picked apart, and of course, they came to the point where he's like, "Okay, give me the brands I want. I'll give you X amount of money to keep you afloat for another year,
It's not.
or file bankruptcy." So they filed bankruptcy, and guess who comes in to save the jobs?
Him.
Yeah. And guess who turned around and closed up all the stores with, you know, all the stores within a year or so?
Him. I mean, to be honest, though, it's like I always say, I remember back in the day, sound like an old fart, but I remember back in the day going to the Sears in Thousand Oaks with my dad.
Yeah.
Back when they had really good sales and they had really good stuff. I remember going to Sears was like this holy pilgrimage. Like, it was a big freaking deal to go to Sears. And then after a while, I remember going there with my mom to get some work boots, and it was just like, it was dead in there. It was creepy. It was like, you guys even open, or are you just too polite to kick us out?
Well, what happened is it got to the point where there's websites that'll tell you how much a company will spend per square foot inside a building for maintenance and repairs and stuff like that. And I think at one point, Kohl's and Walmart and different companies like that, they were paying, you know, like $6 or $8 or $10 per square foot. And Sears was paying like 25 cents per square foot. It just got to a point where they didn't want to spend anything for maintenance because they saw that was where they're going to save their money.
Yeah.
Well, where they were losing money is whenever you take, and you've got the buying power because you've got 3,000 locations, and you start closing those locations down, and suddenly you're not buying the product that you were buying. Those companies aren't going to give you the deal on those products that they used to give you.
Yeah.
You know, and then they turn around and they got into a little pissing match essentially with Whirlpool, and Whirlpool was Kenmore. That was the association all my life was, you have Kenmore, it was made by Whirlpool. Those two companies were hand in hand for all my life until about the last probably 4 or 5 years of my career with them. And then all of a sudden, Whirlpool got into it with Sears or with Kenmore because they said, we want a larger footprint in your stores. So we want you to reduce the footprint of Samsung and LG so that we can have more product in your store. And they're like, why? What's in it for us? You know, what are we going to get out of this deal? And I don't know if you remember, there was when President Trump first went in, there was a deal where he was trying to shut down the imports from Samsung and GE, or not Samsung and LG and different ones like that. That's where a lot of that came from, is because they went and they wanted special funding from the government to make up for their loss because they were losing the Whirlpool was losing profit share to these foreign companies, they called it.
Yeah.
Even though I think Whirlpool was made in another country, weren't they? I don't even think they're even made in America anymore.
Or it's a case where they do the final assembly
Yeah,
here
I don't know.
because it's probably cheaper.
Anyway, so all this little stuff, they started this little war thing, and so next thing you know, guess who's making Kenmore?
Sears.
LG. Guess what happened to the quality of the product? Because there's one thing that you ask any repair technician, and they will say there's two brands of of two brands of items you do not want in your kitchen or in your laundry room. That's Samsung and LG. Samsung makes great telephones. They make great TVs, but for some reason, the refrigerators, the inside lining of them will crack after a year. Don't know why. LG has these great looking refrigerators, all the top things inside these refrigerators. But if something happens to the circuit board that's behind this one particular door,
Your
the
host.
technicians are told you can work on any part of this unless it's inside there. If you track it down to inside there, it's only an LG qualified technician can open that panel and work on that board. And guess what? There are no LG certified technicians to go in and work on that board.
What does Louis
So what they
Rossman
do-
have to say about that?
So what they do, if it's found to be inside that board, they will actually call the customer up, set up a replacement. They will send a free refrigerator out to them and pick up the old refrigerator. They won't even leave that old refrigerator behind. I don't know if there's like a little squirrel in there keeping things running or what, but there's something secret in there. Aaron's taking off. Have a good one.
Mr. Carroll Science just crashed in here.
What? How you doing?
Holy crap, it's been a minute.
Man, there's 13 people watching this? Oh my
13
God.
people watching this dumpster fire. This is awesome.
Why would 13 people want to watch us? So you're one of them. You've got that turned on. So there's actually 12.
Still. Why would 12 people want to watch this? Because I don't want to know. But we appreciate it big time, guys.
Yeah.
Really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. It's been a while. But yeah, anyway, the new job has been good. I really like it there. But man, it keeps you busy. So busy that you don't have time to come out here and do 3D printing anymore. I think there'll be a work-life balance soon, though. I think it'll once you get the staffing and everything corrected, that's going to be good.
I mean, it's like anything.
Yeah,
I'm
it
still
takes time.
I'm still trying to find a balance between school and work and this and what's a good compromise, because I have some projects that I'm trying to get done, like I'm doing the videos with the Polymaker filament, which is really nice stuff. By
Yeah,
the way.
Mr. Polymaker over here didn't even tell me something was coming. All of a sudden, there's a box shows up.
Yeah.
That's like, I think there's a 3D printer on the front porch.
Well, because I posted photos of it on the Twitterverse, I'll show it here. But this is part of the project. It's a small little switching layout. So
Nice.
got that down. I'm gonna probably extend this stuff over to about there, and then I'm thinking I might make this kind of like concrete or wood or something for the.
Are you going to print yourself a Thomas the Tank Engine to put on there?
I am working on a locomotive actually.
Oh, is that this one right here? You're going to put a little Thomas the
No,
Train
that's
face on
the
it?
wrong scale.
Oh, okay.
That one's 30-inch. This one's 32. But and then this is the little locomotive body that I'm working on.
Cool.
The chassis, I'm debating. I'm probably going to do it anyways. I'm probably going to.
Did you design the guy?
No, I found the file on Thingiverse and I cut it so I could make him sitting. So I'd have something for scale, so I'd know an approximation, because I don't model in the scale usually. But the underframe for this, which is not here, I'm probably going to get metal 3D printed, so it's got some weight to it. But the problem is, it's like $95 shipped to do that. So I'm like,
Is this my printer?
yeah, that was yours.
So where is that the piece that was?
Yeah, I swapped out the sensors, but that didn't seem to solve the problem.
Oh.
So I'm not exactly sure what's up, because the thing is, I went into Pronterface and I sent it the command to check all the end stops, and even when I had the carriage all the way over to illuminate it, it still was not registering the end stop was
Ah.
closed. So
Yeah,
I'm not
we'll-
sure what's up.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's no big deal.
Worst case, you can always steal mine.
The reason it caught my eye because that cover is over here.
Oh,
I
yeah.
always thought that was soldered on the board, so I was going to resolder it on the board.
No, it's a friction fit.
I got videos that are on the cameras. I've never downloaded them to the computer to even edit them, and I really have to do that because I think I covered that in one of the videos. I forget, but yeah, I'm my days off here and there, I'd record something. I'd be like, I'm gonna go out there and edit that tomorrow night.
Nope.
2 weeks later goes by. It's like, oh, that's right. I recorded a video. I have to go edit it. Oh, and then something else comes up, and I never make it out here. This is actually the first time I've been out here in what, 2 or 3 months, probably.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, no sooner do we come out here and turn on the kerosene heater, and it tries to kill you.
Yeah. If we would have fired this thing up earlier, you would have seen the whole room just full of soot.
Oh.
I'm looking up there and look at the spider webs. They're all black. See them?
Oh yeah.
Oh, the spider webs are black in here. Yeah, there's spider webs out here because I haven't been out here in so long. There's only been one person out here.
And it's been me usually doing school out here. So yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good in the hood.
I mean, to be honest, with Mr. Carroll Science, with all the time during, yeah, I know that feeling well. I was like, oh, yeah, I want to make content. But the reality is, and this is just something in general, it's when you're a one-man band doing videos, it's really draining. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Doing the project, filming it, oops, I need to redo it. I got to edit it. I got to get it up there. I got to promote it. It's not that we hate doing it. It's just, it's a lot of work. And just, especially when you've had a long day, the last thing you want to do is crawl out and try and make a video and look halfway alive. So, yeah.
Well, there was a few weeks there where I was going 13, 14 hours a day. But thankfully, there's more management in the building now, so it's making it where it's a little bit easier to. Oh, propane bottle run out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we switched over to propane after the kerosene heater did what it did. I got you 2 propane bottles over there.
I'll save them for later if you need them.
He's going to save that for tomorrow when he's at school.
I'm only going to be in school for half an hour, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because tomorrow's my half-hour meeting with my instructor, and that's it. From 11:30 to 12.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
You was asking about that egg.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're going to tell you why you didn't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know why you just seem distant on Zoom.
How's this Zoom thing working for school, by the way?
It sucks. I'm going to be honest, and this is partly an internet issue, and the internet issue is not just on our end. My instructor is up in the Oakland Hills, and the rest of us are dotted all around the state, etc. And the thing is, it's kind of like the biggest irritation I have with Zoom is the fact that, in our case, if Deborah, our instructor, if her internet goes bad, which it historically will go bad, our class is from 1 to about 4:30, 4:30, something like that. Around 3 o'clock, the internet in Oakland just goes. And there's been times where literally we'll be in the middle of something and she'll literally just freeze up and the internet will kick her out because the internet goes bad. She has to spend like 5 minutes resetting stuff. And it's really annoying because then she has to get back in there and we have to try and get back to where we were. And the other problem is it's like whenever it's hard to carry on a conversation in Zoom because there's always the lag between you and the other person. And then there's always that awkward silence while you're waiting for the other person. And then 3 people want to talk at once. And it's nobody's fault because there's a dead zone. So you're like, oh, I'm going to speak. Or you raise your hand, but nobody notices because they're not looking at the screen. And it's I don't know. I love my instructor. She's awesome. Some of the classmates in there are really cool. But doing it online just sucks the soul out of my body. And I'm not kidding. I hated it when we had to do it 2 semesters ago because I had the gap semester. I hated it when we had to go on Zoom. It just was not the same.
So let me ask you this: when you're on your Zoom deal for the class, do you wear a mask?
No.
Is there anybody on your class that does?
No.
It's funny because when you work for a company and you're inside their building, you have to wear a mask.
Well, I mean,
And so all the Zoom calls I've been on, everywhere is wearing their mask because they're inside the building.
that I can understand though because you are inside the building with other people. That I can understand, but because I'm on my own, no, I don't. Screw it, I'm putting.
You're putting the propane tank in.
I'm like, yeah,
You know, it was 36 degrees this morning.
yeah. No wonder it was so cold.
When I got in the car, it was 36 degrees in the driveway at 6 o'clock this morning.
Oh, Oh,
Oh man, that was hard.
that sucks.
Yeah, I'm really thinking about putting a little gas heater out here.
I need an adapter for this guy.
Yeah, actually, I do have one in that other heater over there. In fact, I could always bring the heater over here too.
Yeah.
It's a double heater, so it's bigger than that one.
Oh.
Nope. Heat this room up in no time. Oh Lord. At least I'm off tomorrow.
That's nice. Yeah, if you're still around after I get done with class, I'm going to do whatever. But if you decide to skeet off without me, that's fine as well.
Go look at travel trailers.
I'd be down.
So, ever since Beth and I went to Colorado last year, here we are in the middle of the pandemic. We're deciding we're going to go back to see her family because you don't, at that point, you just don't know what's going to happen. So I took, was it a week and a half, almost 2 weeks off, and we drive back there using the Toyota RAV4, go back there, and every time you stop off at a hotel, and since we had Precious with us, we always had to stop at a Motel 6 because Motel 6,
I thought it was Best Western.
no, Motel 6 is the only motel chain that you can actually walk in with your pet and they'll accept you no matter what.
Oh, yeah, just Motel 6.
Best Western, all the other ones, it's if they have a pet room open.
Good luck.
Yeah, so Motel 6, you just go on their app, say, okay, I'm going to spend the night here. You set it up on your app and tell them that you got one dog, and that kind of stuff, and you're just fine. You pull up there, check in, no problem at all. You got your dog, don't matter. You're perfectly fine. So what we would do is I'd get on the app. Okay, well we're what was it? We were going through. Actually, went through by Joe's place. I didn't get to see him on the way there, but stopped off some on the way back. But we went through Hurricane, Utah, and so we're going through this. I forget what. I know we went through Zion National Park, but there was another one we went through, Capitol Reef. Drove through that part, and so we're looking. It's like, okay, well, the next Motel 6 is up in Green River. So as soon as we get back in service, I set everything up online to go to the one in Green River. And every time we'd stop off at one of these hotel rooms, I would go in with Lysol because I picked up 2 cans of Lysol that just happened to come in just the day that the day before we were getting ready to leave.
The good Lord was looking out for you.
Yeah,
that day.
here comes a package of Lysol. And I'm like, can I please buy 2 cans? They're like, yeah, here you go. I buy 2 cans. I would go in, spray the whole room, the bed, the mattress, pull the sheets back, spray everything, the pillowcases, the floor, the handles, anywhere we were going to touch. I sprayed everything down with Lysol. Then we would go and we would get something to eat and be away from it for an hour so that the smell kind of dissipate. And then every hotel room we went to until we got to Grand Junction, that's what we did. And of course, once we got to Grand Junction, gave that room a good spray down. We were there for a little over a week or whatever. No, it was 6 days, six or 7 nights. I think it's 6 nights we stayed.
Close
there.
enough to a week.
Yeah. So, you spray everything down, and they don't want to touch your room while you're there because of COVID. So they didn't want to change the sheets or nothing. They would give you the sheets, but they didn't come in to change them. They didn't want any part of anybody's room. They didn't even want your towels. They're like, just take your towels and set them outside your door. And we'll open your door and we'll set them in on the counter just inside your door or something. Or no, it was set them outside, come back up front whenever you get back and pick up your towels up front. That's what it was. Okay. So we didn't have to worry about anything that way. While we were there, it's over 100 degrees. That one night, it didn't dip below 95 that night. There was a fire right over the hill from us, smoke coming right down toward the Grand Junction Airport. There's ash, there's smoke, and the air conditioning for the entire building goes out.
Oh, I never heard this story. This is good.
And I'm not kidding. We were laying in that bed dying that night because it's just like, oh my God. And you couldn't open the windows. You couldn't open the door because the smoke would come in.
You get killed by the smoke. Yeah.
that was one miserable night. I told Beth, I said, we've got to do something different than this. I said, the motorhome is getting older. We can't really trust it for driving it, 1,000 miles here, 1,000 miles back anymore. Plus, Calvin's done whatever he's done. Well, yeah, that's what I did say.
Quick, give me 3 weeks to get all my crap out. Yeah.
So I'm like, we got to figure something out. So we came up on the idea of get a pickup and get a travel trailer. Because the problem with a motorhome, unless you're pulling a car behind you, is once you get to a RV park or wherever you're going to be staying for any length of time, unless you've got another ride to another
Get a
vehicle
rental
to
while
drive
you're out
around, yeah, unless you're doing something like that, you have to take and unhook everything from your RV, drive your RV around town, and then come back. And if you're in an area where they can take your spot, I mean, you don't know what you're going to have. But if you rent the spot for the week, you're going to have your spot, but you still got to come back and then hook everything back up.
And good luck parking your RV somewhere, especially if parking is tight.
Right. And you're not going to go through drive-thrus, which during a pandemic, guess what?
It's only drive-through.
You don't go inside a Taco Bell. You don't go inside a McDonald's. You got to go through the drive-thru.
Or do curbside.
And I'm like, we got to do something different. So we came up with an idea. Let's get us a pickup, and then let's get us a travel trailer. We'll just get a cheap one. So we got the pickup. We got a 2008 Toyota Tundra. It's got a 4.7, so it doesn't have the big V8, but it's got a V8. It's got a capacity of 6,800 pounds for towing, which is plenty for around a 20-foot travel trailer. About any 20-foot travel trailer you get is going to be around 5,000 pounds. Sometimes if you get one that's got the aluminum frame and everything, it's like 4,200.
Not much of a difference.
Dry weight.
Yeah.
That's not including putting water in the holding tanks or anything like that. So we went up to Pan Pacific RV?
The one off 101.
Yeah, that was probably November, which at that time there had been a huge buying spree of RVs. I mean, people had lost their minds and were buying everything they could buy, and they were going camping. It didn't matter where. We went up to past Sonora, up by Strawberry and up that direction on the 108. If you guys saw the video where I had the little drone, I flew it up and up on top of Sonora Pass. That was the drive we took to go up there. And you should have seen where people just found a wide spot beside the road and there was an RV or a travel trailer or a tent or something. People were camped through this whole area where there was not even supposed to be camping. And people were camped out because they were just getting away. They did not want to be stuck at home, during the lockdown. They wanted to be out. And I mean, you can't blame them.
Great way to socially distance.
Yeah, and at that time, we found a travel trailer up this. Like, this is a really nice trailer. The payments would have been, I think, at that time, like $200 a month or less, and then like, oh, yeah, we have to do this. But at that time, we didn't have a pickup. And it didn't make any sense to me to buy a travel trailer before you have pickup, right?
Yeah. We can haul it with.
Now, around the same kind of a travel trailer is going to cost you about $28,000. And payments going to be close
Donate money.
It'll be fine. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
So I'm looking at what you get for the money, and what you get for the money now compared to what it was in November for what was left on the lot is horrible. I mean, they really upped their prices. Of course, then I noticed they were adding on a new building onto their deal too for the service center. So that's probably where all the money is going to. So somebody mentioned, I think it was my stepdaughter, my stepson, they mentioned Best RV over in Turlock. So I went online and I looked at that and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. There's one. They're going for like $21,000, which put the payments closer to about $250 probably. And the thing is actually very well loaded up compared to what we were looking at this past weekend up there. So that was the one I was looking on there. Was what, a 23-footer? which is a little bit on the big side, but it sets right at 5,038 pounds dry weight, which means probably add another 1,000 pounds to that for water and for clothing or whatever you're going to put in it. That still brings me under the 6,800 pounds for towing. So now we're tonight at dinner, because Calvin's like, hey, my Dogecoin went up. Let's go out to dinner. My treat. And I'm like, Calvin never treats. You're on. Thank you for dinner, by the way, brother.
You're
Thank
welcome, man. It's the least I can do.
But we went had dinner, and Beth brought it. I said, so what are we going to do tomorrow? I'm off tomorrow. And she's like, why don't we go up to Turtle Rock? And I'm like, are we taking the pickup? So we're going to go up there. Maybe go up there. I don't know. But we might go up there and take a look at travel trailers just to see what they got.
Yeah.
I'm afraid if I take the pickup, then I'll be more tempted to try actually doing something. But right now, I'd like to wait off for another month before I do.
Well, I mean, here's what I would do: is I would just go up there, get an idea of what there is, and
the only thing is, here's what scares me though. What scares me is I'll find one that I actually can get, and everything will be like just right, and I won't take the pickup.
and
And
you're
it'll
gonna call
be
me and go bring the pickup.
And then I'll be like, okay, if I don't get it now, then what? Then I'll have to make that trip again. I don't know.
Yeah. I'll put it this way.
It's $21,000 for that trailer is a really good deal.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I won't lie, it's still more than what I would like to pay. I'd like to get one less, but at the same time, do I want to get a used one that people have had the Rona in and have to deal with Lysol on the whole inside of the trailer to?
And then you get
Hope
it
we
5
don't get
minutes
the
down the
Rona.
road and it falls apart. And
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Here's my take. I would just take the regular car up there, and if you find something, you can figure out how to get it down from there. But that way, you don't feel like you're forced to get something
True.
because you're there with the truck. Just,
I don't feel forced to. I just thinking ahead.
yeah. I mean, which is a fair point, but it's kind of like, you know,
But at the same time, I know that there's a down payment that has to be made. Right now, I ain't got the money for the down payment. Might change in a month, but right now I don't have the down payment.
30 days is a long time.
Yeah, it is. And the thing is, whatever you see on that lot today or tomorrow,
Could be
it's
there.
not going to be there. In the
Yeah.
month. Because I guarantee you, if everything holds true to the way it's been, more than likely all that's going to start taking off again.
Well, the other thing that's interesting is I'm curious, and this isn't to wish bad on people, but curious how many of the people that just ran out there and bought an RV are going to be like people who ran out and bought a house when the housing market was at
That's-
its peak, and
That's
then
kind of what I was kind of hoping is that all these people that, and I wasn't hoping, but you know what I'm saying.
you know it's going to happen.
I was thinking, okay, so all these people lost their jobs and they went out and they bought these trailers, and they're now all of a sudden they're figuring out I got to spend another $100 or $150 a month to store this trailer.
And I'm
So
scraping
now-
by already.
Yeah, how many of them is going to be like, hey, I'm going to sell my trailer? Of course, then again, they're not going to sell the trailer for less than what they paid for it.
It's going to have a huge depreciation on it. So then
But
you're
your
really,
argument, the thing is, if you owe $25,000 on a trailer, you're not going to take less than $25,000 on a trailer. You're not going to take that hit and still pay $5,000 or $6,000 out of your own pocket because you made a mistake. Because that payment's still not going to go down.
yeah. I don't know. I have slightly
Yeah.
different financial sense than most people. I'm going to put it that way.
Yeah.
But
Oh well.
I mean, I'll put it this way. It's one of those things where it's like, and this is just speaking from personal experience, the more you try and force something to happen, the less likely it is to happen.
Right.
It's
That's true.
It's kind of like at the right time, if it's meant to be, it will happen, and you'll be like, oh, perfect. I'm glad I waited.
It's like that new job.
Yeah,
That was
fortuitous.
one of those things. It was like, I can't pass this up.
The big man in the sky was going here.
As Eminem says, you only got one shot.
But it's true. I mean, I would definitely go up there, though, get a feeling for what their vibe is like, and just say, hey, look, this is what I'm looking for. This is what my budget is. If you ever get anything in that meets these requirements, here's my number. and just leave it at that.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's not the way the salesmen work.
No.
That's not the way we work.
No. But
The salesmen are like, so what's your credit score? Oh, have a nice day.
yeah, whatever.
I'm the type of guy I'd love to just have the cash and just walk in there. What's your credit score? Oh, this much. Oh, have a nice day. Oh, okay. Hey, how about you? You want to show me a trailer? Sure, I'll show you a trailer. Oh, yeah, here.
Without disclosing too much, let's just say that was pretty much my grandma when she would go to buy a car. She had enough to just go in there and pay cash for it, even though it was a more of an economy car. But she had all kinds of fun stories, and I think all the salesmen liked her because she'd buy the freaking ugliest car on the lot and make it vanish.
I remember this one time. It was back before I got married. Back then, anybody's married, they know you used to have money. But yeah.
Great, thanks.
It's that way for everybody.
I know I'm being silly.
But
It's the price you
I
pay.
had a sock drawer, and I had enough in it where I walked up to a dealership and I'm like, "Hey, how much is that car?" And I knew if I traded in my car for that car, they weren't going to give me very much money. I could sell it outright for more money. I knew that. I knew I could get back the amount of money that I would need to put on a credit card. So I'm like, hey, that car is X amount of dollars. I got this much in cash. Could I put the remaining amount on this credit card? And the salesman is like, sure. The guy that wrote up the contract's like, sure. I took and I buy this as a 1995 Ford Thunderbird.
Dang.
Bought that thing. We had the V8 in it, the whole shot. I mean, that was a nice car at the time. And bought the thing. I get home. Here's a message on the answer machine. This is before cell phones, by the way. Well, cell phones were out, but they were pretty expensive. At that time, I didn't have a cell phone. Here's a message on the answer machine. Oh, there's an issue with your paperwork. We need you to bring the car back. We need to, you need another form of payment. What? I paid cash and I've got a receipt for the credit card. I call them up and they're like, oh, you're not allowed to use a credit card to put the remaining amount on this. I'm like, what do you mean? I've got a receipt right here saying I already did. You guys are the ones that approved it. And they're like, oh, but there was an error. That should not have happened. I'm like, okay. And they said, so you need to take and do this. And I'm like, actually, I don't need to do anything, but I'll tell you what I will do. Since you guys are going to do business like this, go ahead and have all my cash there waiting for me. I'll come back over there. You go ahead and you run the return and put this money back on the credit card, and I'll pick up the cash. You can have your car back. Oh, well, you don't have to do that. I'm like, that's what's going to happen. I said, I'm not going to deal with this.
We're done.
Yeah. So I hang up the phone. I get back in the car. I drive back to the dealership. By the time I get there, they figure out how much money it's going to cost them on the transaction fee to refund the money back to the card. Once they figured it out, they decided to take and make some kind of adjustment in their end of it. Or, you know what? We're sorry, but go. They're like, you're going to get your money back, weren't you? I said, yeah. I said, because I don't like doing business with people that are shady, and you're shady. And there was a misunderstanding. No, there wasn't no misunderstanding.
You figured
I
out.
said, if you want to go ahead and make this other deal happen, and you give me back my money, let's do it right now. You can have this car back. I'll go somewhere else and I'll buy a new one. It's no big deal. I'll just buy a new one. Hang it. Oh no! It's fine. And then, I found out it was going to be 3 or 4% to refund it, which means it would have been double the amount of what they'd already
They thought that one through real well.
Yeah.
Geniuses.
And what's funny is I went to another dealership one time, and they said, "You realize that credit card's enough to pay for this truck? Would you like to go ahead and buy it?" I'm like, "No." First off, your boss would never approve it. You know it. That was back when I was young.
The olden days.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good old days.
Yeah, my only two cars, one of them I bought cash through eBay, and then the other one was given to me. So, can I say,
Cool.
yeah. Although I will say, I love that 96 Honda Civic to death. That thing is just freaking insane. It just keeps going, and sips gas, and I love it.
Yeah, Brian, that's the way to do it. If you can get out of having to borrow money, it's a whole lot better. I know there's some people say it's better to use other people's money, but that works if you're able to pay it back right away.
Yeah.
But if you are using that as the means of getting what you want when you want it and when you can't afford it, they'll come back to bite you. Been there, done that, learned that lesson. So I try not to get too subtle that way.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing if you have to do it from time to time, and you can, and you can make it work. You know, you find a reasonable workaround. But yeah, when that's like all you do is you just throw it on there, it's
yeah. Like the RAV4. Whenever that deal came up, I couldn't pass it up, and I got a loan for way more interest rate than I should have. But at the same time, I needed it. And I wanted it at the time. Got it. But thankfully, since then, things have gotten better, and I was able to refinance it, and it'll have it paid off nearly half the time compared to what it would have been otherwise.
which is good. That gamble paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the thing is, I mean, I know lots of people who got into things way over their head, and years after they got rid of the car, they're still paying it off, and it's like, jeez.
But man, the amount of miles I've on that RAV4, oh my God, I'm about ready to hit 100,000. I'd say probably within the next month or so, I'll hit 100,000 on it.
And you're commuting half the distance that I have to get to my job.
Yeah.
Although I'm not doing as many miles because I'm only going in 2 to 3 days a week right now. But when I was going in 4 days a week, man, I was putting gas in that tank every other day.
Yeah. Plus, you're dealing with a lot of traffic, especially both ways. Well, more one way because you're coming home is when you get the traffic.
Well, I work 10 to 7, so I usually leave around 8:45 and get in around 9:45, and then if I get off at 7. There might be a little bit of traffic, but it's really not that bad unless somebody's been an idiot and shut down 3 lanes, which has happened before.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I've got it timed in such a way that it's like, or if traffic's really bad, I'll just go grab some food somewhere and just chill for half an hour and then hit the road, because I figured I'd rather sit in the car and eat something for half an hour than sit in my car for half an hour going, I'm not moving! Move it! You moron! You know, getting all irritated sitting in traffic. I have better things to do with my life.
Speaking of Chick-fil-A, because I'm sure that's what you eat. Do you know this one up here is getting close to opening, right? We haven't had Chick-fil-A in Salinas since I was a kid.
This is glorious.
So we used to have one in the mall back when we had a McDonald's in there, which was a sit-down restaurant by itself inside the mall. Next door to it was Chick-fil-A, and they always stood out there and they always gave out samples on toothpicks. That's the way they always did. I mean, you go in there, get that sample, it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to go in there and buy it. Next thing you know, you're in there, you're buying those things.
Oh, yeah, it's addicting.
It was really, really good. And that's the one, I got to say, that's the one sandwich, that's the one chicken nugget strip things that have not changed since I was a kid. When I was a kid, things like if you went to Burger King, you got their chicken nuggets, they were chicken. They tasted really good. They had a certain kind of a spice to them that was just really, really good. And now they are warmed over McDonald's. It's not the same. It's just not. They used to have the best chicken sandwich over at Burger King. They used to have a really good, the spicing, everything was perfect on it. Kentucky Fried Chicken used to make a chicken sandwich like original recipe chicken it wasn't a patty, but it was a piece of chicken, but it had the original recipe on it. Had a taste to it. It was so good. And all these places have went to low-grade dog food, but the one place that has not changed at all is Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A tastes as good now as it did then.
Because we all know if they try and screw with it, Truett Cathy is going to come back from the dead and smite them.
As he should.
Yes. I should tell everybody the story about the Chick-fil-A in Carson City, which had the world's most insane line I've ever seen, but yet we still got through it in like under 20 minutes. I'm not kidding. Danielle and I were out in Carson City, and we didn't realize there was a Chick-fil-A on the edge of town until I was out there one of the times, and I'm like, oh, there's Chick-fil-A on the edge of town. Oh, that's handy. So we need to get some food, and we're not really super familiar with the lay of the land, so we're like, you know what, let's just go to Chick-fil-A for lunch. We all know it's going to be good. We get over there on a Saturday. I swear, the line snaked its way around. Like, it was in the middle of a street. There's Chick-fil-A employees waving at you like, oh, you got me in line? Okay, go down to the end of the street and turn around and go behind those cars. They're in line for the Chick-fil-A. We'd already pre-ordered it on the app. So literally, there's like a block-long line to get into just the area where they take your order. We'd already done an online order, so we just checked in for that.
Yeah.
Cruised on up to the little pay window thing, and they got us our food in under 20 minutes, or thereabouts, which when you think about it, a line that long to get people in and out that fast is nothing short of incredible that they did that. But they seriously, they have it down to a science. They were pulling off some cars to the side and running things out to them. They had some people going through the line. I mean, it also helped that we had it on our phone, so it was ready to go. But even then, there were people ordering things. They had the people walking along the side of the cars. It was nothing short of amazing how they took care of us that quick, considering how crazy crowded it was.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so they, Chick-fil-A, what happened was the malls, because Chick-fil-A was at that time was inside the malls. And the mall actually got to the point where they were fining them for not being open on Sundays. So they eventually just went ahead and closed up the doors. That was in Chick-fil-A, and we hadn't had Chick-fil-A since, I would say that was in the 80s when they closed up.
Uh-huh.
And I would say by the beginning of next month, we will have a Chick-fil-A right in front of the mall.
Oh, glorious day when that happens.
That's when I miss being at Sears, because I was right across the parking lot from it. Now, no matter what, from work, I have to drive 25 miles to get to Chick-fil-A.
You either got to go up to San Jose or down to...
Up to San Jose or down to Salinas, one of the two. It's like, no!
There's like 2 Chick-fil-A's about 15 minutes from my job, but the problem is both of them. One of them, the Milpitas one that we've been to, it's okay, but it's always crazy crowded, so it always takes a while to get your food. And then the one in Sunnyvale is a little faster, but it takes forever to get over there. It's really inconvenient because I have to take a bunch of surface streets, and I'm like, ain't that. So I don't go as much as I used to, but it depends.
Is this your money multiplying over here?
Yeah, we can watch it grow as we're talking.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Jimmy is jealous that I've, on the side, gotten into a little bit of crypto and investing, and
Yeah, he's actually doing pretty good.
yeah. I'll put it this way. It's one of those things where you got to time it right, and there's no guarantee you're going to make anything off of it. But I will say with the ones that offer staking rewards, it's nice because obviously the amount that you're earning interest on will vary as the value of the coin goes up and down, but at least you know you're going to be earning a set rate, and unless it tanks, you're probably going to do decent. But you're not going to make it as fast as if you just invest, sell, and invest and sell. But
So, if you don't mind me asking, what was
Yeah.
your original investment?
I think $12.50.
Oh,
And mind you, I've sold
it's better than
off.
the stock market.
Mind you, I sold off that much already, and it. I mean, it was a little higher out there, but I think this spike was from when I bought Ethereum, and it went up. But that was its peak. But it's still not bad.
I remember when Bitcoin was like $2 or $3.
Yeah,
I can kick myself.
for not getting in.
I remember Barnacle Jerry.
Yeah.
giving away his Bitcoin because he didn't think it was worth anything. And now look at it. It's what, 50 grand or 40 grand?
Currently, as of the time of filming this, Bitcoin is worth
$49,183.
$0.75.
It's 80 cents now.
It goes up and down, but it's worth a lot of money.
It was $3.
I mean, that's honestly why I don't think Dogecoin is really going to go anywhere. That's why I took a little bit of like $5 or $10 and put it into Doge just in case it does anything. I don't think it will.
To the moon! To the moon!
But I will say Doge has been it's never been this high in its life. So while we don't know,
you want to start singing a sea shanty. You know you want to. Everyone's about.
No, but the thing is, though, it's like with all this stuff.
Could you imagine if we would have put in money on GameStop back when it was like $2 a share, and then when it hit $400, sold it?
I could quit my job, but I wouldn't.
I could have got that travel trailer.
Yeah. Well, honestly, that's the reason why I got into this on the side. Is the banks are paying absolute bum diddly squat in interest. So I figured, you know what? It's a gamble, but it's a gamble I'm willing to take, and I'll probably and even with the staking, I figured I'm still going to end up ahead. So I figured it's a small amount, diversified over 5 different things. It's worth a shot. You know, whatever happens, happens. Everything's a gamble, but I figured it's earning nothing sitting in the bank right now. I figure at least I'll cross my fingers and be smart about it. So far it's paid off, knock on wood. I'm no investment expert, but I figured, historically it's been slowly doing. So,
Yeah, if only I could be 20 years younger and know then what I know now.
Yeah.
I'd be rich.
Well, I mean, I'll put it this way. It's like with the Bitcoin thing. I don't think Bitcoin is going to last forever.
You know what? People got in on it back at the very beginning. It don't matter. At this point, they can cash it all out and be set for life.
Yeah.
Set for life.
Well, that's part.
It hit $50,000 the other day.
Yeah. Well, why do you think I've got it diversified across multiple ones? So just in case one of them takes off.
Yeah.
I have a little bit in Bitcoin. I mostly have it just because it's the most ubiquitous. But for the amount that I have, I don't expect it to do a lot. But I figure it's worth holding on to just in case.
You mean you can buy a tenth of a Bitcoin?
You can buy down to like 5 cents or less of a Bitcoin.
Really?
You can get now, mind you, it's more efficient to buy it in a larger amount because they're going to charge you a set fee for purchasing it. But Bitcoin, the actual value if you're sending it to somebody, you can send it down to like a really tiny amount. It depends upon most platforms have about $1 minimum if you're sending it. It depends.
Can you set to buy when it's a low point and sell when it's a high point?
There's things that can do that. I've never gotten into that, but I don't know. This was one of those.
You
things.
remember back was it 2 or 3 years ago when there was a glitch, and for like less than 10 minutes it dropped down again to $3, and then it shot back up. I think it was running like at that time. I think it was running like $3,000, which was unheard of at the time.
That's cheap.
And then it dropped for like 10 minutes. There was some kind of a glitch, and it dropped for just a little bit down to $3. A bunch of people bought it, and then it shot right back up again.
And they
cashed out.
Oh.
And they cashed out. And it's like, dude. And even though those people cashed out, could you imagine if they would have hung in?
It's a gamble. I mean, you can look at the graph. You can see where it's gone up and down, up and down, up and down. But generally, the average is.
But what I look at is that point to that point.
It's
higher.
Yeah. Well, even if you look at over here, from when I bought into another thing, yeah, it's continued to go up.
There's always going to be peaks. There's always going to be valleys. But as long as the beginning and the ending are at a different point,
they're doing that.
And it's going upward. You're good.
Yeah, and that's what I figured was. It's kind of like my rule of thumb is if one of them is doing really good, I cash out 10% of that.
Yeah.
so that way I've still got enough in there that it's worth my while. I'm still got a value in it, but that way I know that I have, say, that $40 that I earned from it. I know I have that. So even if it crashes, I still have that as a safety margin. So
We've been streaming for an hour and 25 minutes.
yeah.
I see people have gotten bored with this. We dropped down to 8, full 7.
Well, I mean, it's almost 9, so we're kind of in that like middle zone between all the East Coast people are going to bed. Everybody in Europe's probably starting to wake up right now.
Yeah, it's almost time for Daniel Norrie to wake up.
Oh gosh,
Everybody wake up Daniel Norrie. We need to get him on here.
we totally need him on here.
We need him on here.
We need him.
Uh,
We need. You know what we need to start? We need to start Benchy Coin. And then use it to buy filament and printers.
how would you earn Vinci coin?
Just, I don't know. Slicing things. I don't know what goes into making.
Oh, there you go. Let's create a slicing software and a
Benchy Coin miner.
Tinkercad, but what's the other one? Where you go on there, you download the stuff.
Thingiverse.
The Thingiverse, where
For every model downloaded,
for every model uploaded, you earn
a fraction.
Vinci coin. And then depending on the popularity of that upload, you earn Vinci coin.
Oh, for every download you earn, for every
transaction at your computer, as far as transferring the file from one computer to the next, Vinci coin.
you totally know people would not abuse the crap out of that.
To the moon!
Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious.
Vinci coin. Oh, Daniel Norrie.
Although we'd probably have to get that licensed by Creative Tools to use the name because they technically own the licensing. Whatever.
I'm sure there could be a deal worked out.
Yeah, let's give them a cool Vinci coin.
Vinci coin.
But I mean, it would be interesting to set up something like that just for fun. I mean, it would actually be. And here's a thought: it would actually be interesting if you did set something up like that.
They'd call it down in Mexico.
Oh. Oh God.
Coin.
But what would actually be interesting is if you set up something like that and you had it in such a way though that people could like the for every download or something it earned like a set crypto amount, and then at the end of the month that paid into like a charity fund towards helping like programs in 3D printing in schools and stuff. That would be really cool.
Gucci does get a ass for a stream. You guys don't smoke a big fat.
Oh.
Maybe when they make it legal on the federal.
All of a sudden,
that's all I need.
agents just start busting in.
That's all I need is for, hey, I saw you stream the other night. Here.
If you saw the amount of weed that
that'd be a career up in smoke.
If you saw how much weed my old boss and my old coworkers smoke, oh gosh. It was bong rips every half hour practically.
I used to go up to the concerts,
Oh yeah.
Just go to Shoreline and just go.
Oh, you should just. Can you please tell the story about the dude with the fat nug who doesn't even put it in his pipe? He just like starts, getting everybody high off fat nug.
Oh, that was so funny. So in San Jose, they used to have this thing called Music in the Park. They did away with it a few years ago, but
we can thank Nug Guy for that.
They had Music in the Park, and they had this. It was downtown San Jose. Don't remember what the name of the park is, where they used to have the Christmas things every year. Mm-hmm. You got like Comerica Bank and all these different big skyscrapers around it. I say big skyscrapers. It's San Jose. They're as big as they can make them in San Jose. It's not San Francisco or Chicago or any of those places. They're skyscrapers by San Jose standards. There's this park in the middle of it. And they would set up a stage and they would have different bands come. Well, I really like Greg Kihn. So when I hear that Greg Kihn is going to be playing somewhere, I go to watch the Greg Kihn band.
That's your thing.
I like watching Greg Kihn. They don't write them like that anymore. And what can I say? So we go to this deal. It's me and Beth. We go there. We get there early, so we're like, I think it was the Yard Dogs or somebody like that was playing before that.
Cover.
No, it wasn't. I forget the name it was. They did like I can't remember the name of the something Hammer. I forget the name of the Peter Gabriel songs. There was a guy that sounded just like Peter Gabriel that was up there. Awesome music, really good. Not a whole lot of people watching the band because for some reason they just weren't that popular. So me and Beth were able to get up there. Like we're within from here to that door from the stage.
Practically you could touch it.
It's 10, 15 feet from about 12, 10, probably about 15 feet from the stage. We're right there. And of course, once Greg Kihn's getting ready to come on, everybody starts gathering in because he's like the big draw that night. Because every night they had, every night or was it every Friday night? I think it was every Friday night they had a band. So all these people are all gathering in there. And there's this guy that comes up. Big guy, afro, looks kind of like this guy right here. Imagine him weighing about 300 pounds. And he's got a backpack on. He's like, woo! Greg Kihn, and just really acting it up, and to the point where everybody's kind of embarrassed looking at this guy. And so everybody's like turning away, And these other people, they're all gathering up real close to us, and everybody's getting closer and closer until, you're almost shoulder to shoulder people. You're like this with the next to people. And all of a sudden, he's like, woo! He jump up and down. These people kind of back away from him. And Greg Kihn, woo! And the police were there as security, and they, oh my God.
None of these guys.
And so after he's like, hey, yeah, woo! Hey guys, want to buy some? And he starts selling weed to all these people around us, right? And he's like, so this guy's like, yeah, I'll take some of it. This guy pulls out this blue anodized pipe. Blue anodized aluminum pipe. The coolest looking pipe I have ever seen at that point in my life. This thing was machined.
Oh.
I mean, it has slits in it. Everything just perfect. Took the little nug, stuck it in there, lights it up. Woo, just smoke. And the guy next to us on the other side starts smoking. The guy behind us starts smoking. The guys in front of us start smoking. And here this guy is with this huge nug. I'm not kidding. This thing was like a little Christmas tree in his fingers. He's like, Greg Kihn, woo! And Greg Kihn's up there, he starts playing, everybody's all around us there, and they're all smoking. And he's like, Greg Kihn! He lights this nug up in his fingers, lights up with a cigarette lighter, brings it down, goes, sucks the smoke off this nug in his fingers. Woo! Greg Kihn! After standing there for 2 hours, everybody around us smoking weed. Finally, they got to the point of the night where they turned off the lights. They shut down the whole thing because they're like, you're going overtime. They shut the lights off. Greg Kihn's like, they're shutting this off. They're taking us down. Who wants to keep on going in the dark? Light your lighters up. And everybody's like, woo! Cell phones, lighters, he's up there. He keeps on playing till finally they pull his
Power.
cord. Okay, thank you guys for coming. Everybody goes, starts going. I walk to the car with my wife. We get in the car. I sit down in the car. And she's like, what's wrong? I said, I got to stay here for a while. And she's like, what's wrong? I said, I'm high. She's like, what? I said, I am looking through a pipe right now. I kid you not. My vision was like this. Everything was dark around it. All I could see was a tunnel. I'm like, I'm too high to drive right now.
That's when Jimmy pulled out his phone and found the nearest Jack of the Crack to get some munchie meal.
I sat there for an hour before I finally. Okay, traffic's all gone. I think I can drive now.
So I have to ask, for being accidentally high, was it worth it?
Yeah, it was. That was one of the best Greg Kid concerts I ever went to.
I didn't need a concert. I meant getting high, but yeah, that too.
It reminds me of going to this Kid Rock concert at Shoreline. Like, man, fog's rolling in. Dude, it's all clear behind me. What was? And all of a sudden you start seeing little puffs of smoke coming up into this cloud and the fog. And I'm like, oh, that's what that smell is. Good times, good times. I don't know how concerts are going to be now that everybody's going to be wearing masks, though.
We'll see.
Unless they come up with a mask that you got a little hole in it.
I mean, technically, you could smoke through the mask because it's so porous. It's just gonna whatever.
That would be funny.
That is so wrong.
Oh, goodness.
Oh my God.
The good old days.
I'm not gonna say anything that's gonna get us demonetized or kicked off the platform at this point, so I'm just keep my mouth shut.
What are you going to say? Say it.
No,
Say it.
not gonna say it out loud.
Say it.
Nope.
Say it.
Richard says a gas mask is brilliant for smoking with. Oh gosh.
Person could come up with some kind of a mask that way where it's got like a straw that comes in just right so you can just like
Kind of like a camelback.
put it up to the front, but it goes through a little seal, you know. Then when you pull it out, it like seals it.
Has like a one-way valve, so you suck on it and then it goes. Oh god.
So if we design one and we put it up on Thingiverse and you print at least part of it with flexible filament, what would you name it?
I don't know, but I know before we went
The
online.
Tucker mask?
The funny thing is, though, one of my old classmates, Chris, he actually did a project. He was so done with the program. He was just like, screw it, I'm just gonna go out with a bang. He checked on the website, and because weed is legal in California, the school said absolutely nothing about him doing a project where he literally came up with this self-contained weed grinder / vaping unit all in one, and did that as his senior design project. Actually did the test prints for him to have to show. It was hilarious because I know exactly what half that class thinks. Man, I wish that thing was real. I swear, at least half the department is potheads. And and then a good quarter of that is like actual hardcore drug users. There was one time where we actually caught somebody smoking crack inside the building. I'm not even kidding. The design lab is right across from the office, and we're all kind of talking, yeah, somebody's smoking crack over there. And our department chair, Mary, is across the way, and she's all like, so we go in there, and they're like, oh my God, there's somebody smoking crack over there! Woo! She like literally flips out over some person smoking crack in the building. I gotta go get SPD about this! And we're just like, Mary, darn it.
Crackheads make life more interesting.
I mean, in a way, you felt bad for the person that they had hit that point in their life where they were okay smoking crack inside of a school building because you knew they were probably going to get in trouble for it, and they just didn't care. But at the same time, it's just kind of like, what the heck is going on?
I wonder if this stream will ever be funded by Canon.
I just realized that.
Product placement, huh? Oh yeah. Republic
Good old Asus, buddy. Oh
It's been an hour and 40 minutes, and
7 people are
it's
watching.
time for me to go to bed.
Ditto. I'm gonna get Oscar.
Time to me is to test out just how thin those walls are.
Yeah. Have fun. If you hear the door slam and you hear this other one slam, you'll know I heard.
Yeah, I've already seen the trailer lock a few times.
Uh-huh.
I remember when your friends were here. Damn, Calvin! The trailers are rocking. I won't come a knocking.
We de-rested the
Trying
springs.
to- what?
We de-rested the springs real well.
Well, that's the end of the monetization on this stream.
We all know it died the moment we started.
Oh yeah, it was gone.
And we didn't even have Teresa up in his house to help.
Oh, I miss Teresa. I miss her. I miss Daniel and Ray. Miss Teresa.
I miss Daniel. I'm not gonna comment about anything
If
else.
you guys see the stream on the flip side, miss you guys.
We need more Daniel Naray back in our life.
Yes, we do. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Looks like 5 of you stayed, and I appreciate it. I apologize for all the things you've seen and heard tonight.
Oh no, you're not. You're not
No.
sorry about it.
Not at all.
Ever.
Guys, thank you very much for joining. Appreciate y'all. Take care. Hopefully there'll be some content come out soon. If not, we'll do another one of these streams in the next week or two. Who
I will
knows?
make sure you put something out there, even if it's the raw footage.
Oh, God. Just be sure to turn off the volume. Hey, baby. Looking kind of fine over there tonight.
I meant you're printing videos.
Oh, I thought you meant the Yosemite video.
I need to give that to you. So you can-
Damn, look at that. Is that those Amazon leggings over there? Guys, take care. Bye.
God, why?